Hello, I'm Alex October from Somewhere in October, and I'm going to talk to you about my thoughts on the Alien franchise so far. Before I do my ranking, I kind of just wanted to do a casual discussion on my overall thoughts of the franchise because when I rank the movies, I'm going to be ranking them, yes, of course, in relation to each other, but it's also just how much I enjoy watching the movie. And as I'm, doing my list and picking it out, some of what I need to say here won't fit what I'm going to rank. So I just need to say this. I'm going to let you know I'm going to do this for all the franchises. So I'm going to give you some thoughts. And this is not including Alien Earth. I have not gotten to that TV show yet, but I will react to it. I've decided. I have not played Alien Isolation yet, but I will, and I will record it. I've decided. And I haven't watched Alien vs. Predator yet because I haven't watched Predator. I will react to it. I've decided. So I'm going to have to come back to this and kind of do an update, but I'm gonna give you my thoughts now. So after rewatching Alien so many times because I reacted to it on the channel, I watched it again to get ready to re-enter this franchise, and then I did a horror on trial episode on it. So after watching it so many times, it's a perfect movie. Alien is a perfect movie to me. I have no notes, I have no complaints. I think it's scary. I think it's the most horror of any of the movies. And I love it, no notes. And then I think Aliens is a perfect sequel. It doesn't have the same atmosphere, it doesn't have the same energy that I love so much about the first movie, but the fact that you could introduce not only a new cast of characters that I can get attached to and that I can root for, and that you can change my mind on androids and stuff like that. When I first started Aliens, I was a little bit worried that I wasn't going to be able to enjoy it because for an Alien movie, the crew is always really important to the quality of the movie. And we had an excellent crew in the first movie, so when I started meeting a ton of these people, I was like, are any of these people going to be memorable or likable? Because they're all kind of weird, and how they treat Ripley is strange, but you come to love them pretty quick. I mean, Hicks and Newt are iconic, and Bishop, and even though Burke is the bane of my existence, of course he's an iconic character, so they do up it. And then aliens, plural, we get a lot more aliens. They did not disappoint. It's definitely more sci-fi adventure action. I do wish it leaned a little bit more into the horror as opposed to an action sci-fi, but it is incredible. I mean, seeing the Queen, everything about this movie is a perfect sequel. Like, I feel like when I go back and watch it, I have to watch the two of them as a double feature. It doesn't feel right not to watch Aliens, and I know when I watch Alien, I'll be craving to watch Aliens. So if you can do that with a franchise, like, that is amazing. Then we get to the other Alien movies. Okay. Alien 3. I think this one gets some undeserved hate. A lot of people set my expectations for this to be horrible. Now, was I completely put off by the fact that Newton Hicks, that storyline? Garbage. Yes, I hated that. Was it a little bit hard to get into this dune, much more extraterrestrial than the xenomorphs itself, a land of people? Like, it just felt like we were on another planet in Star Wars. And for me, sci-fi, I'm very fussy about. But I will say, the fact that we were in this maximum security prison and you had so many morally gray characters, morally gray storylines to play with, it gets kind of lost in it all. Now, I did watch the cut, and I actually am glad I did because Gallic gets a lot more in the cut, I believe. But the issue with this movie, I think because we had to do such a whiplash to separate ourselves from Aliens, because it was a very straight through line for those movies. And although this movie is a continuation, it erases everything we just built up. So not only do you have to basically grieve the last movie, you have to just get into this new setting, which is a setting we haven't seen before. You know, this is all unfamiliar. It's not a crew on a spaceship, and we're not even going out on an exploration mission. We are rescued, and then the xenomorph is still there. So it's a very different setting, and because of those growing pains, or I would say the friction of getting into this movie, a lot of the commentary that could be there, I don't know if it's there or not. Because I had to spend so much time getting into it, I couldn't appreciate the environment we were in. So I'm saying all of this and rambling about it because I do feel like I need to rewatch it and kind of evaluate if it does a good job of what it is when you don't hold it up against the before, if you get what I'm saying. And although there is some good action with the xenomorph and stuff, I don't really remember a lot about this movie because what I think about is Ripley, what Ripley goes through. I think about the ending and the whole Bishop, situation. And I think about the cast and crew, but I don't feel like I know enough about them. So what I remember about this movie is basically that I need to rewatch it. It's not super exciting. It's not something I want to rewatch passionately like the first two, but it is one that I am curious about and I don't want to write off necessarily. So I do think that is something good about it, that I don't want to just toss it to the side. I feel like there's more to get out of it. I just didn't get it on a first watch. The setting is kind of gritty. I just don't know if it gets grimy enough. So I need to reevaluate that one, but I don't think it deserves as much hate. I don't necessarily think that we lose Ripley's character in the third one, but she is just a little bit different. It's not the Ripley I love. I think Alien Resurrection completely makes up for that.
There's a monster in your chest.
Some people kind of said that Alien Resurrection is also garbage. Some people said they don't like the third one. The fourth one is okay. I loved Alien Resurrection. I personally love this hybrid Ripley. I think the storyline has the commentary we need. The commentary that's kind of scrambled up in the third one is very clear in the fourth one. It's very familiar, enough for me to get back into it. And seeing Ripley in the state is really cool. I think Winona Ryder is a really great character. I think the cast is good. And they are very morally gray. Arguably morally bad. But we again get this crew that we understand completely. I don't feel like I need a rewatch to understand their story. So you can root for them regardless. You can still try to figure out them versus the xenomorph and where you stand. Now, the worst part about this movie is I'm always going to have to live with the fact that that hybrid is coming. That Oogie Boogie, that Oogie Boogie hybrid is coming. And the idea of it, sure. The look of it, I can't take it seriously. I cannot take it seriously. I need it to either be the xenomorph black or just look a little bit more alien. I get the hybrid. I feel like Romulus does a really good job of balancing it. So I'm glad to see it fleshed out. No pun intended. But if that would have been a better design, this movie would have been so great for me. And I feel like, honestly, I could have watched 1, 2, and skipped 3 on a rewatch and just go right to 4. But again, I need to give 3 a fair try to see if I'm going to write it off on my rewatches. Now we need to talk about Prometheus and Covenant. Prometheus, I really did not like this movie. When I think back to it, Shaw has a great story. It's a very powerful story, especially with her fertility issues and the xenomorphs. We don't see a lot of the xenomorphs, but what we do is pretty gruesome. David is an iconic character, an iconic android. The engineer storyline, I do not care for even a little bit. I understand if you can resonate or even just like the mind philosophy of it being your creator that created this and how it all kind of intersects. I'm watching Dark on somewhere in October right now, so it kind of feels like Dark in a way. I can see where you would like that, but it takes the wind out of the sails for me because I much rather the alien be an alien thing. I much rather the alien just be something that we invaded and now we have to suffer the consequences and we keep trying to harness, kind of like Jurassic Park. Like, I want it to be that. I don't want it to be something these engineers created. And because these movies, Prometheus and Covenant included, don't really close the loop, although they feel like a prequel, I won't watch them. If it would have closed the loop to where the first ship crashes and we stumble upon that in the first movie, I could justify watching it for that loop. But I can't.
Holy!
I will say Covenant definitely saved it. I enjoyed Covenant a lot more, and because of Covenant, I actually like to watch Prometheus and Covenant together. But if I'm going for an alien movie, I'm not going for this because it doesn't change my mind about the storyline. If we did not have David, if we did not have some of these great characters, and we just had the story and commentary, I wouldn't like these movies. And the other Alien movies, although I love the cast and the crew, the storylines and commentary are also so strong that it's just a win-win-win. For Prometheus and Covenant, I kind of have to sit through something that I just really can't connect to. I can't get my brain to like it, and it's a roadblock. I can't help it. My brain likes what it likes. And then we have Romulus. The thing about Romulus is I can understand why people really appreciated this movie when it came out. If you were hungry for alien, like real alien movies, not that Prometheus and Covenant aren't, but they never ever once felt like the original, and they probably never intended to, which is fine, but you may have been left wanting that. And Romulus definitely feeds into that, and Romulus has some great gore. It's really referential, but I feel like I can only appreciate Romulus if I cannot access the original, or if I watched it in real time and was waiting that long. I think Romulus has some great acting, some great scenes. I think about when Andy is frozen because he's rebooting and it turns all red. I love that scene. I love that actor. So there's lots to like about it, but everything I like about it is a nod to the movies that I could go watch now. So that's why it doesn't stand strong for me. The hybrid's better, of course. If I could copy and paste him into the resurrection, bang, bang, bang. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the jump scare near the end of that one with him. So I like Romulus, but I think what I get out of Romulus is what I can get out of the other movies. If we're going to bring something back, I don't want it to be so referential that I have that thought. It's like, oh, I like this movie because I can just watch this. Because then when the choice comes down to it, why would I choose Romulus? When you bring a franchise back, I think being referential and having that nostalgia is great, but you can achieve that in breadcrumbs and stand alone. If it's completely referential in the main storyline even, why am I encouraged to watch that rather than the other ones? You have to give me something the other ones can't, not just regurgitate. Okay, so you have my thoughts. You may be able to interpret my ranking from this, but I don't think you can because honestly, I don't know it myself. I keep going back and forth on a couple. I'm going to have that ranking video out soon. I'm going to do some other kinds of videos, some tier lists. I'm just getting it together. I know there's lots of available tier lists on Tier Maker, but I sometimes don't like how it looks, or there's something missing, or there's too much, so I end up making my own. So that is to come, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, like and subscribe because I'm trying to grow this new channel so I can discuss movies here, watch movies on Somewhere in October. So that'll be really great. Okay, see you in the next one.